This is the Business of Apps podcast, bringing you actionable insights from the leaders of the global app industry and the world's fastest growing apps. You can find more app news, data and analysis over at businessofapps.com.
Welcome to the Business of Apps podcast. On this show, we invite app industry professionals to cover various topics, and we promise to do our best to keep it both insightful but brief. If you haven't subscribed to our podcast on iTunes, Spotify, or other podcast platforms where you can find us, I strongly encourage you to do that. Once you subscribe, you will be getting these episodes on your device as soon as it's available. In this episode, we have Jessica Gotti, Head of Performance Marketing at Paired. Jessica, welcome to the Business of Apps podcast.
Hi, everyone. Thank you to have me today.
It's great to have you on. Thank you for coming, Jessica. Okay. I'm always setting the stage first before the talking through the questions. And so here we go. Science tells us that 80% of information we perceive every second we're awake is visual. We make sense of the world around us by processing lots and lots of images. And some of those images are mobile ads. Now, there are ads that you just want to go away and never come back. Some of them make you laugh, some of them make you smile, and some actually give you an incentive to try a new app or grab an app you've been looking for. In this episode, we're going to talk to Jessica about how to pull this pretty tough feat, ramp up a creative's production to boost your app growth. But first, let's kick off with talking about you. Tell us about yourself, Jessica.
Sure. So, hi, everyone. I'm Jessica. I'm Italian and I live in Milan. I'm the head of performance marketing at Paired. My background is in international business and finance, but I found my true love in performance marketing, where I could merge my passion for data and consumer behavior with my creative side. I have already 8 years of experience in the user acquisition sector, especially in subscription-based apps. My career started in London with Once, a dating app. And then from that, I moved back to Italy, where I got a position as marketer at Bending Spoons, a tech company with a portfolio of different apps. Here I got an incredible opportunity to work on many different archetypes, from health and fitness to video editing, photo editing, VPN, games. It was quite illuminating to see how marketing strategies, approach, communication can change depending on the vertical and the archetype you work in. But after 4 years there, I decided to move back into the relationship field. So from dating to relationship care app. And when I found Paired, it's been 2 years now, and I'm really happy at Paired. I'm growing professionally as head of performance marketing, and I'm learning a lot on how building and leading a team. This is more about my professional life. On the personal side, fun fact about me is that I go crazy for apples. I can eat 6 of them per day across the whole year. Love them a lot.
That's nice. So after all, your international experience, like your first inclination to go to international affairs, ultimately kind of coming to fruition because you've been working in London, moved to Italy and back. And obviously the audience of Paired app is all over the place, right? So you're still kind of dealing with international affairs, but from a different angle. Okay, yeah, I do love apples for the record as well. Not only Apple products, that apple, but just regular apple that are falling from the tree.
Exactly.
Okay. So 86 episodes back, we had another Jessica Baisega from your team to talk about the shades of app growth. And so she did introduce Paired. But just to refresh the memory of our listeners, tell us about the Paired, what your company is about.
Sure. So Paired is a relationship care app whose goal is to help couples to stay connected, improve their communication, work on their struggle, but not only. Couple use Paired also to bring some spark and fun in their day-to-day life. Romantic relationships are one of the most important part of our life, but building and maintaining a happy relationship over time can be really challenging. And there are not many resources out there that can support couples. Paired wants to be the solution, wants to be the product, the service that can help and support couple to nourish their relationship. And the most important thing is that all the quizzes, questions, and games you can find in the app are backed up by our relationship experts that support us making Paired as effective as possible for any relationship at any stage.
Yeah, a few years ago, I heard this phrase that the problem in Silicon Valley was that they've been chasing small problems with big money. So it's been overdue to chase big problems with big money. And I would say the mission of your team, what your app does, in my book, it's a pretty big one. We have we're well above 8 billion people on this planet minus kids. You have billions of people in the relationships, and that's probably the biggest market. Like it touches pretty much all of us, plus to climate and economy. So yeah, relationship, what happens in your home, it's pretty important, from huge chunk of your life. So yeah, I would say
Yeah.
your guys doing you're on a great mission.
Yeah, thank you. Indeed, I do believe that. It's surprising that there are so few relationship care service out there, although it's a huge problem or yeah, need, let's say.
Yeah, I mean, people are usually address fitness, being fit, working out, probably keeping yourself healthy, being on a good diet. But the relationship, what happens in their relationship with their partners, quite often just overlooked. Okay,
Yeah.
first thing first, let's talk about the significance of ad creatives. And why did you decide, guys, to invest into ad creatives production to ramp up their production quantity?
Yeah, mainly because creative have become a fundamental leverage of any marketing strategy, especially in today's marketing landscape where we have so many limitations and challenges. Creative can help mitigating them. Investing in creatives allow business to be able to reach out their audience and target while being in a privacy cautious environment. Let's think about the limitation in targeting brought by new data privacy regulation, ATT policy. It's not us anymore actively targeting the audience we are after, but it's the creative that is finding the right audience for us, the one that resonates the best with our message. But not only, it's not only about overcoming privacy limitation. Creatives are also key to help a business to stand out in a crowded market where the competition is increasing month by month. And they help fighting the high ads fatigue on big platform like Meta and TikTok and fight the user low attention span. So all in all, I believe that creatives can make the difference for business, helping driving them to success and growth, especially nowadays. That's why we decided to invest so much in creative production and exploration.
Yeah, that's really important to like if you think about, like, there are only two ways of how people are connected with apps. It's either about the contextual search, they're looking for a specific app with an intent to find something, or they see advertising in whichever form it happens to be, on whichever platform it happens to be at that point. TikTok, Snapchat, YouTube, whatever. So having that part of the equation, the ad creatives, right, it's just crucial for your company, for its growth, to make it sustainable. Now,
Exactly. It's the first touch point you have for your product.
yeah, that's the first impression. This is how
Yeah.
you're communicating what your company, what your app is about, and how does it make difference for that person who's looking at that advertising. Now, tell me about the journey you guys had last year with the ramping up production of the ad creatives for the app. What was the first step?
So the first step was internalizing the creative production. So and end of 2022, we were struggling with our main acquisition channels because they were impacted by ads fatigue. We were outsourcing our production, our creative production, and yeah, we were producing little number of creatives, not aligned with our needs, far from being conversion oriented, and the whole process was poorly efficient for us. So I'm not saying that agencies are bad, but that they weren't the right choice for Paired at the stage we were and for the needs we had. So we came to the conclusion that internalize the production and create a dedicated creative team for performance was the best solution for us. Have a full-time team on the project, aligned with the product, with the performance marketing needs, and able to react fast to seasonality and trend. Was the key. So true to be said, of course, when you take this decision to internalize a team, you need to consider the cons coming from hiring process and salaries, but both will be counterbalanced by a more efficient flow, less time wasted, more winning creatives, and positive outcome from the campaign, better ROAS eventually. For us, that one was the first step we took.
Gotcha. So get it into the internal into your team production of ad creatives. If you think about it, even the biggest companies on the planet like Apple, they tend to from time to time internalize part of the production process of creating an iPhone. They buy companies that create some components like production of microprocessors for their devices, and yeah, it's an investment. You have to hire a big team of folks. You have to make them part of your team. You have to make sure that these people fit in your culture. You're paying them. You have to build the workflow of their job. But in the end of the day, if all components are there, if you're on the right track of organizing the whole thing, it will pay off for yourself, because you have this part of the whole thing under your control. You can be more flexible. There are obviously lots of pros but cons. You have to be ready to deal with more expenses. That's unavoidable.
Exactly.
So now today, if you look at any activity at marketing and specifically at marketing, it requires a collaboration. It's just not feasible to pull off any remarkable marketing feed yourself. You don't have resources, you don't have time, you only have one brain. You have to have a collaboration of people. You can split the task between these folks. You have to bounce off ideas with these people and come up with something more creative. So tell me about how you put together the team to work on this creative ramp up.
You're right. It's super important to have clear in mind the need you have to address, priority and relative task, and of course having the tools for collaborate the best way. And based on that, you can start defining the structure of your team and the roles. So for us, for Paired, once we had our goal in mind and we set our priority, we started the hiring process. And we started looking first for designer, and
Mhm.
project creative manager. So designer, of course, are the core. Without them, there is no production. And we looked for a graphic designer for our static needs and also a motion designer for motion ads and UGC revamped. Then we needed someone focused on leading brainstorming, collecting idea, turning them into brief, coordinating the production, providing feedback, and so on. So in other words, someone that could lead and manage the creative process from ideation through production up to testing. And for that reason, we scouted for a creative project manager. Once we validated the success of this creative team, which was the core, we expanded the team and we looked for a UGC scouter. So someone that could focus on scouting and looking for creators in order for them to produce UGC to use for our ads. We scouted for a copywriter who could focus on copy for our ads and the script. Being able to speak to your audience in the right way, using the right language is key for success. And I mean, we were lucky enough to welcome in our team a UGC creator. It's not fundamental for every business. There are third-party services out there that can help you with the UGC. But yeah, we were lucky to have our TikTok social media manager as UGC creator. And she was happy to produce video for us. So it's part of our creative team. And yeah, that was how we structure the team.
Yeah, it's really great if you can tap this channel of creators on social media, but you have to realize that the people who have a talent who create something great, something engaging, you should have the right person to build a good relationship with these people, understand what they need. They're not part of a regular, marketing team. You're not hiring an agency which have, you know what to expect from these folks. Like everything pretty much straightforward. When you're working with influencers, these are individuals. They're not, they're creators first, the marketers later. You have to find the right language to work with them efficiently. So that's important if you have somebody in your team who can build this relationship with these guys.
Yeah, true.
Right, we've got a team. Now it's about the framework of the whole thing, how it's going to work. So tell me about the process of building this framework to make the whole work efficiently.
Yeah, it's indeed fundamental having a clear framework to make everything work smoothly and facilitate collaboration among so many stakeholders. So we came up with a 7-step flow, which run on a weekly basis. So first, we have creative exploration, meaning we collect on our own ideas, concepts that caught our attention that can have the potential to be successful ads. So there are so many places out there where you can take inspiration. So you can check TikTok, Facebook ad libraries. You can follow players who are well known to invest a lot in creative production. For example, Headway, Flow, Simple, Reframe are some of them. Or one of my favorite one is you can train your own social media algorithm to make it show you the content that fit your product the best. For example, I'm a huge fan of cats, but since I joined Paired, I started to see mainly couples and relationship focused content through my feed, Reels, and TikTok. So you see, based on how you react to video, to ads, then you can train the algorithm and you keep receiving content that might fit
Right.
your service in this case. So this one was the first step. Secondly, it comes to concept prioritization. We hold a weekly brainstorming where we discuss about previous week creative test performance, we share the new idea, and then we start prioritizing the production. So is there anything promising that we want to iterate on based on the results we got from the previous creative test? Or is there anything that we believe can be successfully adapted for paired as an ad from the new idea we got? And the one that win, we move them to the creative brief. So we write a creative brief for each single ad concept, defining the copy and the need. First step is about production, where designer get assigned with their task and start the production, which runs in parallel with feedback. So we have always our creative project manager and also someone from the performance team who is providing feedback to the designer. And it's important to be as quick as possible in order to allow the designer to amend the content on time. And lastly, we have the last two steps, which is moving the concept, the finalized concept, to the creative test. And once the creative test is over, there is the post-analysis. So we run the analysis and then we bring the results to the brainstorming, and the flow starts again, as I said before, on a weekly basis. Regarding the tools we are using in order to make this whole framework work as smoothly as possible, we are leveraging a few collaboration tools like Miro for creative brainstorming, Figma for feedback for the creatives, Jira for task management to prioritize the concept to move into production. And we also built an internal automation tool that help the marketer launching and running the test creative campaign. So we don't have to manually add each single creative to Meta or TikTok, because it would be a nightmare. We are producing around 150 to 200 creatives per week. So it would be madness to do it manually.
Yeah, that would be that would fire back on you if you decided to, if you don't have that clear framework. Yeah, that would be a nightmare for sure. All right, so we have the team, we have the framework, we have the tools. So now it wouldn't be impossible to move forward unless we have good vision on what KPIs we're measuring. So tell me about the KPIs that you guys set for this ramp up.
You are so right. Defining goals and KPI to evaluate the creative effort, it's super important. And when it comes to this, what is super important to monitor to define success is, for us at least for paired, is production, number of concepts and creatives produced per week, and results. So how many of these creative can we call them successful? And winning creative, defining a creative as a winner depends a lot on the business. It depends on how you evaluate your creative, your campaign success. It depends on engagement on the creative. It can be on cost per acquisition, on conversion rate, on the potential in terms of scalability of this concept. At Paired, we always set the weekly production goal and quarterly winning rate goal. And when it comes to winning concept, we define a winner when a concept as a winner when it's able to scale efficiently. We can scale it across all our business as usual campaign, and we can iterate upon this concept many times to fight ad fatigue successfully.
Gotcha. Now, I understand that this is the ongoing effort, but can you talk about any results, what you guys managed to achieve having all this in place?
Yeah, sure. So success at the beginning didn't come right away. So scaling the production was not too hard. We quickly scale our production from 10 creatives per week to more than 200. exploring different concepts, iterating on promising one, personalizing the content as well. But getting to the first winning concept, it took much exploration. I think almost 3 months before we found our first winning concept. The new team had to learn about paired, our audience. We had to set up and refine our framework multiple times. And we had also to start from scratch internal creative learning section. But once we got this the first winning concept, it started to got better and better, and we could see immediate greater result on acquisition and performance on our business as usual campaign. It led to better engagement rate. Our CTR raised by 25%. We saw a decrease in acquisition cost, around 20% lower than before, which positively impacted our investment. We were able to ramp up our daily spend quite fast, and overall it did lead to an improvement in terms of profitability. Our ROI increased by 20%, only thanks to a winning concept. It's crazy to see how powerful creative can be when it comes to marketing strategy and paid user acquisition, especially when it comes to paid social channel as well.
Yeah, this is part of the deal. You have to be creative, you have to be patient. It's not going to be just overnight success. But once it's done, you get this rewarding feeling that it's actually working. We've made it. Yeah. We found that the right creative, that set of creatives actually that do work and do engage with the audience. Again, this is the, I would say it's the combination of art and science. Art in the sense that you have to be creative, try new ideas, always remember to go off the path you've been on, try new things, but you have to measure every step. That's the science part, which comes in for making sure that you're following, you're tracking the KPIs you've set for yourself, and you make sure that the whole thing do work. Yeah, science plus art.
Yeah, that's what I love about performance marketing.
Absolutely. Now, I'm gonna give you a question that, gonna switch the gears for this conversation, and every new guest on the show gets to answer this one. So, looking at the app industry as a whole, as it is right now, what would you like to change about it the most?
Great question. And I guess it would be the high fee charged by Apple. This fee can be a significant burden, especially for smaller app developer, and reducing this fee could lead to more innovation and diversity in the app market. Yeah. I think for you it doesn't sound really new as an answer. I guess most of the people here would mention it.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, it's something. It's different for everybody whom I ask this question. It's there's no the single answer just does not exist by definition. And we're in this interesting phase of the iOS ecosystem because March is coming and the Digital Markets Act will enforce. By that time, companies have to apply. So yeah. We see that the iOS 17.4 is the update for the iOS platform that it will introduce third-party app stores for people to be able to download apps from those markets. And the structure of payments is changing. So, yeah, it remains to be seen how effective it will be, but at least there are kind of a big changes not on the horizon. It's actually right next door. So yeah, that will be interesting. Just watch the space, as they say.
Yeah, let's see. Indeed, I'm curious.
Yeah, fingers crossed, toes crossed, everything crossed. Uh, all right. Now, this is the first part of the show, and there's always the second one. Whenever I have a new guest on the show, I take this chance to kind of build a quick portrait of the person for the audience so they know them better. Here we go. What smartphone do you have now? Have you been switching between these two giants, iOS and Android, all the time, or on one side consistently?
iPhone 13, it's my mobile right now, and I'm a iOS fangirl since the beginning.
Got you. Okay. iPhone did not exist forever. There was a time when we did not have smartphones. We have only mobile phones. We used to love them as well. So, what was your first mobile phone?
Oh gosh, you are unlocking a big memory here. Was a Nokia 3210.
Yeah,
I remember I used to buy pixel background for the home page. Crazy.
nice, nice. Yeah, that was the glory moment for Nokia back then. Uh, okay, back to present. So, imagine you've left your phone at home for whatever reason. So you're out. You realize it's not with you. What is the most missing feature would be for you at that point?
I think Google Maps. No, sorry, wait. The camera. The camera. I love taking picture. I take at least one picture per day. My camera roll is a sort of personal diary for me. So yes, the camera, definitely.
Gotcha. Okay. Now we all think about phones in a way. Um, there's something missing. And it's not something trendy. You may go like, wouldn't it be great if my phone can do this or that? It may match what's coming or not. It's just I'm asking about something that would make that thing, that smartphone, a better tool for you. What would be that thing?
Hmm. That's a good question. I guess, um, with Paired, um, as I mentioned at the beginning, Paired is a relationship care app, and I think that there is a growing interest in verticals focus on personal well-being, mental, physical health, and it would be great to invest more on this. So it would be nice to have something that could support you more and people more on this mental side, let's say on your personal well-being. So yeah, I think it would be nice to invest more on apps that support people in managing their personal lives and health. I'm using daily Paired, but I should investigate more on other apps as well in this new archetype.
Got it. Kind of a next step after the obvious, the screen time,
Yeah.
which now we take for granted. I'm not sure how many people are using, but yeah, I guess I check those reports on a weekly basis and see where am I with my daily usage of my phone. And yeah, I suppose you're on the right track with this idea of that's another big thing for Apple and Android, sorry, and Google to tackle on this, like the platform wide level. Okay. Before I let you go, very, very final question. How can people get in touch with you and get more information about what you do?
I think the best would be reaching out on LinkedIn. I'm there as Jessica Gotti, and I try to be as much responsive as possible. I love networking, especially when it comes to performance marketing and user acquisition in general. So yeah, that would be the best place, and usually
That's
I share insight as well.
awesome. Jessica, thank you so much for coming on the show and spending time with us. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure. Bye.
Absolutely. And that was Jessica Gotti, Head of Performance Marketing at Paired. To listen to more episodes, subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts. Just search for Business of Apps and you will find us easily. Remember, we release episodes on Mondays, so subscribe and you will be able to get new episodes on your smartphone, tablet, or computer as soon as we release them. And please, don't forget to leave a review or comment on iTunes. It is highly appreciated. And all episodes will also be available on businessofapps.com. Thank you for listening. See you next week.
Thank you for listening to the Business of Apps podcast. For more, head on over to businessofapps.com.